Septics and septic systems, the shitty part of home ownership. Well, at least for 21 million households in the U.S. In this video, we're going to dive deep into the septic system, perform a septic inspection, and pump that baby clean. Hold on tight, it's going to be a smelly ride. Thanks for tuning in today. If you have questions about home ownership or the real estate market, especially in Maryland, Virginia, and the DC metro area, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can stay updated with what's going on and how to protect your number one investment, your home. For full disclosure, I'm a licensed real estate agent, not a septic contractor. Always reach out to a professional when dealing with your septic system. We have included a list of septic contractors in the description below. Over 21 million households have a septic or leach field system that supports the sewage of their home. It's also one of the most neglected systems inside of many homes. Ranging from 15,000 to 50,000, septic systems are not cheap. So it's critical that you understand how they work, how to maintain them properly, and how to locate them. My family and I live in Southern Maryland, and septic systems service the majority of the homes within our area. Rule of thumb is to have your septic pumped or serviced every 3 to 5 years, depending on the use or stress that you're putting onto the system. If you can't remember when the last time it was pumped or serviced, it's probably been too long. We are going to locate the system, discuss the system in detail, put some stress and test that system, and lastly, we invite our good friends at Southern Maryland or SOMD Septic to come and help pump that system out. So let's get started. Where in the world is the septic system located? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is, if you can, if it's possible, if you're in a crawl space or a basement, you're going to want to identify kind of where the waste is exiting out of the house. If you can identify this, like I said, via crawl space or basement, it's going to make your job locating or finding that septic system probably a lot much easier. So we're at a little bit of an advantage here. So this is the main waste line. You see all the different pipes. We have kind of an exposed ceiling here in our basement. And we're able to kind of find this main waste line and follow it over. And we actually are able to find the clean out. So it's safe to say that this is where the pipe is actually exiting out of the house. And so we're going to kind of start our travels outside, kind of in this vicinity or whatnot, about 10 to 15 feet away from the house, and start probing around to see if we can't find that lid, because the lid currently is actually buried. So let's go ahead and take a look outside. So we've made our way outside now, and as you remember, we kind of figured out where exactly that main line or that outlet is coming from the house to the septic tank, and we've been able to identify kind of roughly the area that we believe that the septic tank or the septic lid is. Typically, rule of thumb, if you can identify where it's coming out of the house, you're looking at about between 10 to 15 feet away from the house, and that's typically the position of the tank. I kind of know a little bit about where this lid is already. It's buried right here. And as you can see here, some of the grass is not growing very well right in this particular area. So actually, I'm using this probe here and started probing around in the area. And we were able to kind of identify where we are hitting the tank. So we know in this, pretty much this vicinity, that's where we're going to start to dig and try to uncover the lid so we can do our pump and our inspection. So I'm going to grab a shovel and I'm going to start digging. We have the lid exposed now. So now we're going to go ahead and take the lid off. So we got the lids off. So there's actually 2 lids on this particular system here. This is the inlet system. As you can tell, one of the reasons why we're inspecting this and getting this pumped, one of the kids actually flushed a little toy down this septic or down the toilet. So that is exactly why we are having this inspected. You can also see here, so this is the inlet side. So the water comes from the house. It comes out of this PVC pipe here. It goes in this particular tank. And as you can see, there's lots of different, waste, lots of toilet paper, things like that. That's one of the reasons why you hear people really say, do not flush wipes, do not flush anything down. Try to limit the amount of toilet paper. Even, I've seen it go as far as, what type of toilet paper you're flushing or different things like that. But the biggest thing is making sure that you're maintaining it. So this is the inlet side of the tank.
This is the outlet side. So that's the pipe that actually runs out into the yard and out to the distribution box, which then goes out to the leach fields or the drain fields. So, as you can see here, there's not that much toilet paper, very clean. Well, I guess clean according to whose interpretation here, but it's mostly just water in this particular side. So, the way to properly inspect it, so it does have that baffle there. But the most important thing is next is that we're going to do a hydraulic test. So we're going to run some water into the system and just ensure that it is flowing right. You can see it's actually trickling out there. Kind of that empty area is where most of the water runs into, kind of breaking apart that toilet paper mess. And then it runs over into this side of the tank, which more or less there's kind of a barrier right here in the center, if you can imagine. Let me see if I can zoom out here. So if you can imagine right in between here, there's actually like kind of a funnel system or a baffle system that prevents the toilet paper and things from going into that side of the tank, going into this side of the tank, which in return then gets dispersed out into the yard and out into the drain fields. So you do not want that waste going in, and that's why it's important to make sure that you're having this pumped every so often, because the worst thing you can do is to have that debris trickle over to this side, run out into the drain fields, and clog out the drain fields. So we have introduced some water. I turned on the bathtub, a few sinks, different things like that in the house. As you can see here, we got water running through that pipe. So this is how the water flow would naturally come from the house into the septic tank, into the inlet side of the tank. So, and then it washes through here, it goes through that baffle that I was mentioning. I say baffle, it's more or less the way that the tank is set up is it catches anything that's floating, any of those, there's solids up top. There's solids also on the bottom. They call it the sludge that's on the bottom. One of the important things to look at. And as you can see here, the water is starting to flow from that kind of where it enters. It's flowing into the outlet pipe, exactly the way that we would want it to do. But as you can see, there are some different solids, little pieces of solids starting to float over here, which is a little concerning, and why it's so important and so critical for you to pump out your tank. The whole, objective of your septic system is to remove or to try to mitigate the best you possibly can. Try to prevent those solids or any of the pieces of the solids to coming over onto this side of the tank, because this is going out into the leach fields or into the drain fields. So everything is working as it's supposed to right now. So good, that's a good call. It's a good situation, but only time will tell. So we're going to allow the water to continue to go into the tank. We're also going to add a garden hose just for some added work, some water flow. I wanted to show, kind of the natural flow or how it, naturally works. So we're going to introduce a garden hose. We're going to let it run for quite some time. And this is more or less going to be considered a hydraulic test. So we're kind of putting pressure onto the tank and ensuring that really it can handle the load of the water being introduced from the house or from the inlet side. And it's going into this side properly and draining out into the drain fields properly. All right, so we got the garden hose over here on the outlet side. Reason why I'm putting it on the outlet side, this is probably a pretty important piece here. Last thing you want to do is break up a bunch of that sludge or a bunch of that toilet paper and things like that. Have it break up into really small pieces and then have it flow or allow it to flow over to your outlet side. Again, the whole goal or the whole way, the whole purpose of the way that this tank is designed is to ensure that the only thing going out, or really the hope is that mostly what's going out into the drain fields is just water, trying to get as refined as possible before it goes out into the drain fields or the leach fields. So we're going to run the hose onto this side. As you can see here, we still have this bad boy flowing pretty good. That's perfectly fine. We're going to then go over here and we're going to now introduce some water to the outlet side of the tank. Okay, so we have been running the water now for about 50 minutes or so. And as you can tell, the water levels have not risen at all, which is great. Exactly what you're looking for. So what you're looking for doing when you're doing a hydraulic test or you're doing a load test on a septic tank or septic, system, you're looking to see, can it take the water? Is it absorbing the water into the ground and out into the drain fields, which it appears that our system is doing just that. So you can certainly use that right there, which is a probe, and go out and probe the drain fields and look for, moisture, look for water, just making sure that you're looking for the health of the drain fields. You can also pull up or, look at the distribution box. We don't necessarily feel like there's any need to do that, so we're going to leave that alone. Let's go ahead here and check out this side, doing exactly what it is supposed to do, which is awesome. And here I want to do a little close-up here on the little guy that I found in the toilets. So, small kids, young kids love flushing things down the toilet for whatever reason. Just another reason why you want to go ahead and check and make sure that everything is working properly. So, we're going to go ahead and turn off the water now, and we are going to wait for the pump truck to come out and pump the tanks.
Snoop Dogg. You know I'm mobbing with the D.R.E. Yeah.
Sticking around and watching our video. If you found this information useful, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. In the description, you will also find some great resources on our website, exploremdhomes.com, regarding home maintenance and the maintenance of your septic system. Costly repairs and replacement can certainly stink, so make sure you are maintaining and servicing your septic system. It's a crappy job, but somebody has to do it. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed our video.